Hello, everybody, again. We will be working with React Forms today. Forms are a bit of an HTML classic. They have been around for a long time. In a way, they are a relic of the past because before React, these dynamic, flashy front-end frameworks, the pretty much the only option you had in order to track user input was forms. Uh, the newer frameworks have changed that quite a bit, but the forms are still used quite heavily in the industry because uh, they were a classic approach to tracking state when a user interacted with the web page. So let's get down to business. This is the state of the app as it was the last time we left off. Sorry, the previous video was a bit long. I don't want this to be long, but you will forgive me if this ends up being a bit long as well. Okay, what was the problem with the previous application, or rather the previous state of the application? The problem was it was the same image every single time, number one. And number two, the user did not have the ability to decide which image would be displayed and which comment would be displayed. We had pre-generated these things. We don't want to be doing that anymore. So let's get rid of everything that was pre-generated. We will only use a comment generator. We will therefore not call that function incompetent at mount, refresh, and there's nothing now. Beautiful. And we will be creating a form like so, open tag, close tag, perfect. And we'll start off by declaring the onSubmit function. OnSubmit equal to this dot onSubmit. Perfect. And how do we invoke the submission? Type equal to submit and value equal to post a comment. I think this should work. Refresh, post a comment. Oh, what's happening? Control, Command Shift I, post a comment. Nothing's happening. I'm surprised this matter. We haven't quite defined this function yet. Now, how do we define it? Like so. OnSubmit equal to open parentheses. This guy gets one argument called event, and is there a default handling for the submit? Doesn't seem to be. Either way, by convention, you don't want any any functionality that comes out of the box. You want your own custom functionality. So we will call event.prevent default, and we will call message submission had worked. Let's go. Post a comment, submission had worked. I don't really care for this, but I'm still going to add a bit of padding over here, maybe a bit of margin over here. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that it's right below the demo button. In fact, why do I have the demo button? I'm going to get rid of it now. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this nonsense now. Comment. Okay. Refresh and the demo button should be gone. Perfect. Post a comment. Let's say you have that a text field, right? Now we're going to give a text field. We'll use an input element, of course, and we will give it a label too. So label, and we'll wrap the element inside the label element. The label will be comment. Perfect. And the name will be, these are all properties of standard HTML forms. I can't quite go into depths about what an HTML form is or the features of HTML forms. This is a demonstration. If you really would like to learn about HTML forms, I recommend W3 Schools HTML forms. this is what I would recommend. This is a nice little tutorial. I don't think it's going to take too long, maybe an hour or two tops if you're interested. Refresh. Okay, we have an input field over here that says comment. And we want a little name here. We'll call this new comment and we'll have value 2. This will reflect the value. We want two things, right? One, we want the form to give a value to the application. The application is encapsulated in this JavaScript file, right? But what if we want to modify a value on the form using JavaScript? In order to enable that functionality, we will use the value property and we will set this to this dot state dot new comment. And given that we are creating a new property with new comment, we will use that in the constructor as well. We'll set it equal to an empty string. Perfect. Next, we will, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's not a string, it's an actual value. My apologies. Okay. But we don't want just the comment. One of the gripes of the previous state of the application was the same image was loaded every single time. We want something different, right? So we're going to do image URL, and we'll call this image URL, and we'll set the value of this to image URL. Okay. Perfect. But we want to do a little bit more now. I don't like the fact that it's. Can I use a field? Is there such a thing? I don't know. We'll check it later. What the hell? Input. We'll check it later. Okay. Where is that? Text input. Refresh. Ah, shoot. We open with text input, close with input. Okay, there is no such thing as a text input. Sorry, guys. Okay, we'll stick with this for now. We'll work on aesthetic issues later. Okay. Okay, so far so good. Now, when the submit button is hit, we want an image URL and we want a comment and we want to add that to the state, right? Hang on. It says you have provided a value prop to a form field without an onChange handler. This will render a read-only field. If the field should be mutable, use default value. Otherwise, either onChange or read-only. Okay, it's essentially saying, please give me an onChange function. Okay, I'll give you an onChange function. Take this. Is equal to this dot handle change. And we'll use the exact same function for the subsequent element. Okay, and given that we are giving it a change handler, let's actually define the function so that we don't get an error. Okay, who put this period in there? It's supposed to be a lesser than, a greater than symbol. Okay, perfect. Now let's see what we get when something changes in the field. We'll log the statement. Beautiful. Refresh. Comment. La la la. Let's expand the event. And I see a few nice properties here. Let's see. I'm going to expand target. Okay. Do I have a name value? I have a name value. So I can do something like this, right? I can do state. I could do name. event dot target name, and I set equal to value. Oh, I need the value as well. Where do I get the value from? No, check it out. Let's comment this out so that we can run the page again. Here's the page. Let's write this small comment. Lala. We have the value somewhere. Target. We have the value. Oh, there is a value field, and it's an empty string. Okay. Okay, let's go. This should be event target dot value. Okay, maybe la la la. This works. Everything that we type in now shows up on the text field. And given that we're using the exact same change handler, the same should be true of image URL. Beautiful. And why should I create an object when I'm accessing two properties of the same object, right? Const target equal to, this one's going to be target.name, and this one's going to be target value. Beautiful. Sorry, la la la. Perfect. Next. Now back to Lorem Pixum. We want this to work as our source of images. This is one image. Let's copy it. Let's paste it. And let's post a comment. Nothing's happening. Oh, submission had worked. So the onSubmit function is working, but we're not really doing anything in the onSubmit function, are we? We want to do something here. No. So we're going to call this dot set state. In that function, we will comments property. There may have been comments before we posted our comment, so we want a copy of those comments, for which we will use the spread operator. The spread operator is also ES6 functionality. If you're keen on ES6 functionality, please refer to the description and I will show you. There will be a link to an ES6 course on Udacity. And we take a copy of the previous comments and we add our new comment, which is going to be something like so. URL is going to be this dot state dot image URL. Is that the word we used? Image URL. Yes, that's the property we used. Then the comment will be this dot state dot, what's the property we use for comment? We call it new comment, right? So there we go. And we need a comment ID. We take a copy of what we did in our previous comment generator. So we generate a comment ID like so. We use the UUID external ID generating thing, whatever. Okay, will this work? No. Comments is not. Oh, because I'm supposed to refer to this as this dot state dot. If you write just comments, the JavaScript engine is confused. Okay, let's refresh. What do I give? I hit Control V. No, not this thing. I want this guy. Copy. Control V. Doggy image. Post a comment. Nice. This is exactly what I want. But let's not stop here. Let's not stop here. I'm not quite happy that this whole post a comment form is below the image. I want it above the image, right? So I'm going to do Control X. I'm going to place it on the map. Let's try this again. Refresh. Control V. Control V. We'll call this cute doggy. Post a comment. Beautiful. This is a cute doggy. Do we have other images to work with? I think we do. So if I change the ID to 100, this is very happy. Oh, this picture is so cute. This is the dad carrying, I'm guessing, a son. So the ID is 1001. We change the ID over here to 1001. Change ID from 237 to 1001. We'll call this dad and son. Post a comment. Beautiful. This is exactly how we want it. The image seems to be cropped a bit, but that's an issue for later. Well, the the essence of this lesson was that forms can React, and if you're comfortable working with the old classic forms, there should be no problem for you. Okay, I'll see you all in what will be the last lesson in this video series, lifting state up. Cheers.